Do you see this as merely a local election result? No. In November 2025, the election of New York Mayor Joran Mandaani was the first wedge driven into the heart of the Free Republic of America. The conspiracy theory whispered in the shadows for decades has now taken center stage. New York, the financial heart of the world, the city that symbolized the liberty of Judeo-Christian civilization, has now chosen to become the beachhead of the enemy. This is no accident. This is the master plan of the shadow forces, meticulously planned, financed by vast wealth and ideology, and designed to dismantle America. I will now dissect the truth you chose to ignore, the three critical pillars that are collapsing America and their final objective. It's later than you think. Let those who have ears, listen. The dark connection: George Soros and the deep state. Behind every massive shift, there is always massive funding. One of the primary architects behind Mandaani is George Soros. The $40 million approximately funneled through his son, Alex Soros, was not a mere donation. It was a strategic investment to secure a core node in the project to dismantle America. The deep state's proxy: Mandaani is their proxy, a deep state Muslim, groomed to pave the way for the Islamization of America. He is a 666 minion serving the ultimate enemy. The Democratic Party's blind spot: Soros's money has profoundly infiltrated the progressive wing of the Democratic Party, pushing policies like open borders and the systemic weakening of law enforcement. They are laying the political groundwork for Mandaani's agenda, sacrificing Judeo-Christian values under the guise of equity and diversity. The ideological coup: this money is the fuel for an ideological coup. Mandaani's victory represents the institutionalization of anti-Judaism and anti-Zionism in the city that is the global center of Jewish life outside of Israel. The shadow financial elite has bought their way into the system. Mayor Mandaani is the Trojan horse they successfully installed in America's vital center. The war on the cross: Neo-Marxism and the terrorist agenda. Mandaani's ideology is the blueprint for destruction. His Neo-Marxism and Post-Colonial theory are not simple political stances, they are a declaration of war on Western civilization. The enemy defined: they label the United States and Israel as the ultimate imperialist devils. In this view, churches and synagogues are not places of worship, but symbols of Western oppression, and therefore legitimate targets for elimination. Terror justified: Mandaani's outrageous rhetoric condoning Islamic terror as a struggle for freedom, or survivalist fight, is a political license for extremists. He interprets Sharia law as a minority benefit policy, twisting the truth into a complete falsehood. The end of safety in the city with the largest Jewish population outside Israel. His win means anti-Zionist hatred will be enshrined in policy and law. The fear is real. Exodus forecasts predict millions of New Yorkers will flee as they realize their streets, politics, and institutions are no longer safe. This is a coup without bullets. It is psychological warfare designed to make American citizens hate their own roots, the Judeo-Christian heritage that built this nation. The final sign: apocalypse now and the call to arms. The events unfolding in New York are not mere politics, they are the chilling signs of the end times as foretold in Scripture. The rise of the Antichrist spirit, the ascension of a figure like Mandaani, who openly champions forces hostile to Christian and Jewish values, is a manifestation of the spirit of the Antichrist operating through the political system. The system of control: the push by the deep state, fueled by Soros money, for a cashless society and centralized digital control systems, points directly to the mark of the beast, a system designed to economically exclude and persecute Christians who refuse to submit. The military call: as the shadow forces China and Russia complete their terror belt in the Sahel region, they are preparing for an invasion by demographics, flooding the West with migrants to sow chaos. Mandaani's role is to ensure these seeds of chaos take root in the U.S. The New York election was rigged. Investigate, investigate. This is a time of urgency. The time to appeal to the secular state is over. The American church must arm itself. The faithful must recognize that the fight against Neo-Marxism and post-colonial theory is the final holy war. The satanic minions have deceived, killed, defrauded, and lied to America. Church and conservative wave repay them double. The betrayal of New York will determine the fate of the entire United States. The internal enemy, cloaked in the guise of freedom, is far more dangerous than any foreign army. The conservative resolve the American people must reject the path of passive collapse. Neo-Marxism, and post-colonial theory, must be designated as anti-national ideologies. A return to faith. America must return to the puritanical faith of its founding fathers. This is not just a call for political change, it is a call for a spiritual revival. Monitor and isolate. Every Muslim and Islamic center in America must be monitored and investigated. Your freedom is not free. Now is the time to rearm the Judeo-Christian values and defend the spirit of capitalism and democratic freedom. Wake up, America. Defeat the enemy. Return to the era of Puritan faith.